Celibacy, theft, or stealing. We first discuss about theft. The theft it is not doing anything from others' house without their permission. This may be occupying their land or things or depriving something from others. This we call it as stealing. Not only this, but also nowadays people they work in offices or in companies. When people are working in a office with their intention, they may take the papers, pens, or etc. without the permission or without saying to the offices people. They deprive it, and whoever they work ladies in the companies, they keep all the important items for the daily use, maybe pastes or gum or paper pens. They keep in the tiffin box without saying the security officials. They bring it home. Or they may use the vehicles of companies or the offices more than they are used, and they use for the personal purposes, and the phone calls for the personal purposes usage. These are all come under in theft. Not only these, but also in churches and in temples and in mosques, whichever the food is given to the name of God or distributing as a charity to the people of poor without giving them and packing for themselves or for the self purposes is also come under in theft. Other than this, when the donations are received from the people to any temple or church or mosque or other religious places, they use that money for their personal welfare, also come under in theft. Misusing the power, maybe an electricity or power, example wardens, treasurers, managers, supervisors, they use for their personal purposes. This also comes under theft. A gardener who works in the garden, if he won't work properly and if the plants are not at all, they are sprouting or germinating, and if they are dried, that is the responsibility of the gardener. If that is not used for that purpose and he earned money for his survival, or he has given all the plants without seeing the owner to others, these are all come under in theft. If you can see a doctor or a lecturer, they have to do the work peacefully and with service motto. Other than that, if they do the work mechanically, example a doctor if he does any operation mechanically, its result is losing any organ, maybe eye or a ear or a tongue or an other thing. The loser, if he lose the thing with the neglecting of the doctor's operation, this is what purpose he did is appearing to be earning more money in a shorter time, so that it is also for the will for the money purpose he has done, so it come under in theft. He is responsible for that. The places where food is charitably giving to the poor, they are for the benefit of themselves. If those people they add all contaminated food and they make a good food into adulterated, and if they give it to the poor and the purpose, and that way if the people they get diseases. This is also for the earning of more money in a short time, so that it considers as a theft. Its loss is responsibility of the person who has done mistake. Using of the vehicles or things without saying the neighbors when they are not in house, and spoiling those things, and keeping them at the same place as it is, that they don't know anything, it happened its way, its own. In that way if we behave, its loss is who has done, he has to be bearable, and this is considered as a theft. Why shouldn't we do theft? Because we have two things. One is that we may have a fear of future punishment, and we may have a fear of complaints in the future, so that a person who is interested to do spiritual progress, spiritual practice, he will get disturbances in his practice. So, in order to do his practice in a better way, he has to avoid stealing things. He must get a free mind for doing his sadhana, means practice, spiritual practice. Brahmacharya, that means celibacy. According to Indian culture, when a son he gets when a family member he gets a third son as a birth, he has to give all his responsibility to the first son, and has to go for any solitary place for liberation. Why? Because he has no aversion or craving for the family or the wife or a spouse, so that his intention and his aim is to get liberation. So now he is in middle age. The middle age is supporting his body to do all his spiritual practice, so that he must have to dedicate his life for to do spiritual practice further. So celibacy helps here to go. Next, it has another benefits too. That is, there may not be any generation gap between the young couple, means son and daughter-in-law, and old parent, middle-aged parents. That means a father and a mother, so that they give that all the property as well as the power to the son and go for doing spiritual practice. Second thing, they have no fights between the two families, younger family or middle aged older family, so that its result there have no old age homes. This is a forced spiritual practice. There may not be any pressure in it. It is one way we can say it as a bondless living.